Well, since mid-2009, more than 1,100 new oil rigs have begun pumping in the United States, about one new rig per day. And while domestic oil production has reached its highest point since 2003, it is still less than 1/3 of the oil consumed by Americans. If you will, take a look at this with me. Each day here in the U.S., we consume right at 20 million barrels of oil. Now, of that, almost 6 million barrels are domestically produced oil. And while U.S. oil production is at its highest point since 2003, we still import all the rest of this oil. Now, granted, some of it is from friendly nations like Canada and Mexico here in North America. But the rest of our oil imports, well, they come from abroad, from nations we often have uneasy alliances with. But when it comes to natural gas, the news is much better. For the first time, we're using as much natural gas as coal to generate American electricity. Natural gas prices now rival that of coal, having fallen thanks to our abundant American supplies. Yet despite this dramatic rise in natural gas for electricity production, when it comes to transportation, it's another story. 93% of American transportation still depends on petroleum. In fact, transportation is more oil reliant than any other U.S. economic sector on foreign oil. Now, 71% of our country's entire oil supply, both domestic and imported, now goes to power various types of cars and trucks that we all depend upon. Here's more from our friends at Face the Facts USA.
We're number one, as in the U.S. transportation system is the largest in the world, and our highway vehicles, airplanes, boats, and rail gobble up 13.6 million barrels of oil per day. In just 4 days, that's enough barrels to circle the globe. With 93% of our planes, trains, and automobiles fueled by oil, the U.S. transportation system is almost completely dependent on petroleum. But this heavy reliance on petroleum has its side effects. The CO2 emissions from American transportation alone were higher than the total emissions from all sources of any other nation except China. Now that's a lot of gas. Greenhouse gas emissions from transportation have increased by about 19% since 1990. This historical increase is largely due to increased demand for travel, rising income, and the stagnation of fuel-efficient vehicles. As Americans continue to travel, whether across town or around the world, they'll leave their mark on one thing for sure: the environment. Explore more at facethefactsusa.org.